An open mind is a mind that is free. If you've ever felt stuck, unhappy, or as if your mind has been holding you back in any way, this is for you. Today, you will receive 2 foundations to help you transform and rewire the mind in a way that is freeing and healing. You will also receive an action meditation process to help you move in the direction of a happy, healthy, and free mind. The first foundation to transforming the mind in a way that is freeing, empowering, and healing is to understand the mind and why it may be reacting in ways that are not feeling the most expansive to you. When we are children, our mind is highly neuroplastic, which is the ability of the mind to be able to modify and rewire itself in conjunction to the environment it's in. In simple terms, a highly neuroplastic mind is a mind that is growth-oriented and tends to be more flexible, open, and resilient. Through conditioning, as we move into adulthood, the mind often tends to become more fixed, less flexible, and our thoughts, beliefs, and reactions and behaviors are shaped through our experiences and our environment. If you or someone you know have ever said something like, "Well, I'm getting old," what you're really affirming is that your mind is getting more fixed and less flexible. That's it. So to remain youthful and vibrant, and we see so many people displaying this, we are required to teach ourselves as adults how to be open, flexible, and neuroplastic. How do we do this? We can begin by looking at how our mind responds when it is stressed and agitated. Stress and agitation are undercover precious gifts. As adults, when our mind is agitated or feels stressed, it usually responds in 3 ways. The first way is to shut down, hide, and pretty much try to pretend like the cause of our agitation doesn't exist. The second response is to express a fight or flight reaction. And the third, which is a practice cultivated type of response, is to step into and fully face that which is causing us and our mind the agitation and stress. When our first response is to shut down or go into fight or flight mode, this perpetuates the feelings of us being uncomfortable, afraid, stuck, unhappy, and stressed. The first 2 ways of responding are how most adults in today's world respond, especially since having a growth mindset and having neuroplasticity are not at the top of what we're taught growing up. However, the amazing news is neuroscience shows us that we can reteach our brain as an adult how to return to high states of neuroplasticity. The way we can do this is by using any of the initial 2 responses we usually experience when we are feeling agitated or stressed in a way that benefits us instead of holds us back. The way we use the response of either shutting down or fight or flight mode in a beneficial way is to recognize them for what they actually are, opportunities that can help us thrive and get back on a path that feels expansive and freeing to us. To do this, it requires us to become good friends with any agitation and stress we may be experiencing, recognizing it for the opportunity and gift that it was meant to be to help us realign with the path of personal growth, happiness, and freedom. So how do we become good friends with the agitation and stress we may be experiencing, especially if we've always been taught to either push it to the side, pretend like it doesn't exist, or judge ourselves for being in that agitation? We do so by teaching ourselves how to respond in a way that intentionally has us step into and fully face that which is causing our mind the agitation and stress. So that's the third response, to step into and face that which is causing us agitation and stress. This focused approach helps the mind's neuroplasticity to expand, allowing our mind to be more flexible, open, and free. The way we choose to step into and fully face anything causing us agitation and discomfort is to recognize that the agitation and stress response that we are having is just feedback letting us know that our inner environment and our outer environment are not lined up or matched in that moment. Knowing this, agitation no longer becomes something you try to run away from, but rather it becomes something you see as an opportunity to help you realign your inner and outer environment so that they both reflect what you truly desire most to experience: peace, ease, flow, joy, and freedom. From this awareness, the agitation and stress become entry points to where you eventually desire to be. Isn't that amazing to reflect on? Just this realization alone makes it so much easier to pass through the discomfort we are feeling with greater ease, because we no longer view being agitated and stressed as a bad thing. We start to see the agitation as an amazing blessing that is trying to help us expand towards the direction that actually feels best to us. Doesn't this awareness feel like you're releasing a burden or a weight off of you? It even makes us welcome the discomfort we may be experiencing, because now we know how to work through it in a way that feels expansive. Another way we can step into and fully face anything causing us stress and agitation is by rewarding ourselves daily and creating little milestones for ourselves and making it a practice to achieve them. This focused approach helps to register to the mind that we have just experienced a win, which releases good feeling chemicals in the brain known as dopamine in response. This helps us build self-sustained confidence, peace, and joy. Most people have unknowingly learned how to place the responsibility of their mind receiving the dopamine that it needs on something outside of themselves, like a partner, a job, an addiction. However, this sets one up for a lot of disappointment because this approach is simply not sustainable, and a great deal of volatility is involved when it comes to mental and emotional well-being. So setting daily milestones and being intentional with achieving them helps us become self-sustained and empowered, because we now are creating the feel-good vibes of the dopamine for ourselves, which helps to counter and resolve primal and survival-based responses that often make us feel bad, stuck, depressed, and helpless. Achieving daily milestones helps us move out of being so focused on an end goal, result, or destination, and helps us get back into and enjoy being in the present moment. This is what helps us sustain personal growth and thrive in extraordinary ways. A growth mindset is not to be mistaken with positive thinking. Growth mindset is about living in the now. Positive thinking is usually connected to some type of end result that we think we want. For example, if you're not feeling great, but you try to tell yourself you are feeling great, your mind knows that you're not telling the truth. But if we recognize that not feeling great is just a signal that the stress or agitation we are experiencing is giving us feedback letting us know that our inner and outer environment are not matching, from that space we can use the agitation to help us focus on bringing synergy between our inner and outer environment through practices like creating daily milestones that help us reward ourselves and ultimately help us create the space for us to feel better. And this time, our mind won't feel like it's us telling ourselves a lie. This type of growth mindset approach will help you become more flexible, open, and available to the magic and blessings life is always sending your way. So that was the first foundation. The second foundation to transforming the mind in a way that is freeing and healing is to see every experience, especially the ones that cause us the most agitation and stress, as learning experiences. Now that we know agitation and stress are signals from our body and mind, letting us know that our inner and outer environment just desire to be aligned with one another, the next step is for us to learn about what the root cause of these mismatched environments is, and then take the focused action steps to help us bring them into alignment. The action meditation process I have for us today will show us just that, so I think this is a great time for us to begin the meditation process. So go ahead and close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, feel yourself relaxing into the chair, the bed, the couch, the floor, wherever you're sitting. Just relax into that object, let it support you. Good, let's take another deep breath in. And then again, as you exhale, feel yourself relaxing into that chair, that bed, that couch, wherever you're sitting. Good, and one more. Deep breath in. And release. So from this space, I invite you to think about something that's causing you or that recently caused you agitation or stress. So for example, my partner and my family rely on me for everything. I'm not feeling supported. I feel like I'm the one that has to support everybody else. So that could be an example of something that's causing you agitation. So see what that thing is for you. And once you get clear on what that thing is, the next step is to ask yourself, what is the worst thing about this experience for you? If we're using that initial example, I would say, I have no time for myself. I feel tired. I feel unsupported, and it's taking a toll on my mental, emotional, and physical well-being. So what is the worst thing about that thing that is causing you agitation and stress? What is the worst thing about that for you? See what comes up. Asking these types of questions are really mind expanding. So go ahead and do that now. And while you get clear on what the worst thing is for you, just check in with your body to see and feel where you're holding or carrying any agitation or stress when you think about that thing that was causing the agitation and stress in your life. So just see where you're holding that agitation. So now we're going to ask that agitation and stress that you're feeling in your body. What is that agitation trying to teach you? What's the lesson? Why are you feeling agitated in the first place? If we go back to that initial example that I shared with you, could the agitation and stress you're feeling just be teaching you how to make more time for yourself? How to take even better care of yourself? How to support yourself and your well-being, emotional, mental, and physical? What if that's what you're here to learn? What if the pattern of you always showing up for everybody else and it causing you agitation is simply trying to tell you that maybe some boundaries are needed, and maybe you are to learn how to create those boundaries so that you can show up for yourself more. You can make more time for yourself. You can have and focus on your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. What if that's what the agitation is trying to teach you? And then, of course, you can use the example specific to you. And what if by us not actually learning the lesson, it's feeling more uncomfortable? Because most people go into similar patterns because patterns feel safe to the mind, especially ones that we've become used to. So the pattern of you being the caretaker and the person who takes care of everybody and the person that everyone comes to, that's definitely going to make you feel good. But if you're not giving to yourself and you don't have healthy boundaries for yourself, you're actually going to start feeling not so good. And that agitation is just trying to tell you to show up for yourself, to create healthy boundaries, to love yourself, and to be that person for you that you are to everybody else. So let's just be with that for a moment. So whatever it is, let's say you're feeling a lot of lack around your finances. Could the agitation and the discomfort around what lack is trying to teach you, could that be to teach you how to be more giving, more generous with yourself and the world? Is it teaching you how to receive abundance? Is it teaching you how to give abundance? So whatever it is, every experience that causes you agitation and stress is actually a blessing. And the way that we overcome the response of hiding or the response of fight or flight is to create a practice for ourselves. And what we just did right now is created a practice to step into that fear, that agitation, instead of run away from it. And just doing that is going to help us create more flow, ease, flexibility, and joy in our lives. Those are all just results of a mind that is neuroplastic. So once you get clear on what the blessing is for you, let's express deep gratitude to the parts of you that felt agitated and stressed, because that needed to happen for you to learn the lesson. And now you know you have the choice. So anytime you feel like the agitation and the stress is lingering longer than you want, it's just telling you that the lesson wants to be learned. And that's it. And your only job is to ask yourself, what is that lesson? And then to be willing to learn that lesson. And from this space, now you know it's 100% your choice. Whether or not you desire to show up for yourself or not, it's up to you. And know that, again, when you don't show up for yourself, you won't feel the peace. You won't feel the ease and grace. You'll feel very uncomfortable. But that discomfort will always, whether it's today or tomorrow, it will always nudge you in the direction of really stepping into that which you may have been avoiding. So this is the breakthrough, and this is how we transform and rewire the mind. So with that being said, my friend, I invite you to do this process anytime you feel guided. It was a lot of information, so I invite you to go back, listen to it if you want to listen to different parts at different times so that you can really allow it to sink in. And if this helped you in any way, please feel free to share this video with your friends and soul tribe so that they too can receive the benefits from it. With that being said, I am so grateful for you. I'm wishing you a miraculous day, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey, my friend, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and comment. I'd love to hear from you. Have a miraculous day.